Welcome to U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. It's Game 3 of a 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Chicago White Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, tonight, the Red Sox have to deal with Chris Sale once again, and Jerry, they've faced their fair share of aces.
They certainly have, and, it seems like the better the pitches they face, the better the offense has been, and it goes back, and it starts with Chris Sale when he pitched at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. It gave up 12 hits in that ball game, 7 earned runs. You move on to Felix Hernandez, 12 hits and 10 earned runs the Red Sox offense got. Then they get to Corey Kluber and Johnny Cueto, the most recent. So Sale tonight is really pitching well. Over the last 3 games, and in particular the last 2, he's 3-0, but the last 2 he's had 15 strikeouts and 14 strikeouts in those games. So he's on top of his game going into tonight's ball game against the Red Sox.
Tall task indeed for the Red Sox tonight in Game 3 of the series. The return of Rick Porcello. When we return, we'll talk about Rick Porcello right after this. Hey, Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals by Toyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. Nissan, get to Nissan's ride of your life for exciting performance and bonus cash. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago as we get ready for Game 3 of the series. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, the Red Sox certainly had high hopes when they got Rick Porcello, signed him to a long-term contract even before he threw a pitch in a Red Sox uniform. This is not what he was counting on this season. And, Garen, certainly the Red Sox are glad to have him back tonight.
Absolutely. Rick Porcello returns to the mound tonight after having been on the 15-day DL with tricep soreness. Interim manager Torey Lovello said Porcello had good rehab outings, and they're excited to have him back.
Excited to have him back. I know that he worked through his little situation and a couple rehab starts. The back end of his last rehab start was very positive. So we're anxious to see what he's all about. We're happy to have him back, and we've really missed him. Well, I think we have to be a little cautious with that. He threw 81 pitches his last outing, so we're not going to really overextend him. Right around that 100-pitch mark, we're going to start to really key in on him.
Well, it should be fun to watch tonight. Carlton Fisk, the statue out there, actually caught more games in a White Sox uniform than a Red Sox uniform. We're back in Chicago right after this. retailer for a test drive today. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service, thank you, New England, for 60 great years. And by the Kia Sorrento. Well, we welcome you back to U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago as the Red Sox and White Sox get ready to wrap up this series, the first leg of a two-city tour for the Red Sox here in Chicago. And then tonight after the ball game, they head to New York to get ready for the weekend series against the Mets with an off day tomorrow. And, of course, tonight, Red Sox have to deal with Chris Sale. It's time now for tonight's Twisted but True Fact. Chris Sale's swing and miss percentage of 33.8 is the highest in Major League Baseball since Pedro Martinez's 35.8 rate in 1999. Twisted tea is the hard iced tea. It tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. The Red Sox had his number last time around and hoping to do the same here again tonight. Jerry, you highlighted the aces that the Red Sox have faced, and for whatever reason, they've done very well against those pitchers.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain that. I mean, the fact that, they faced some of the best pitchers in baseball, or in the American League, I should say, and they've really done great jobs against them, scoring, getting a lot of hits, getting a lot of runs. The problem, as I mentioned in the open, Sale has been unbelievable in his last three starts against the Angels, the Cubs, and Seattle. He had 15 strikeouts against the Cubs, 14 against Seattle. He's on a 3-game winning streak.
So we'll see if he can keep that going tonight against the Red Sox as the White Sox take the field. Let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by our Eastern Hyundai dealers. Now Mookie Betts leading it off and in center field with Brock Holt at third base batting second. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop bats third. Hanley Ramirez, the DH, with Travis Shaw at first base. Rusney Castillo in right field with Blake Swihart doing the catching. Jackie Bradley Jr. is in left field tonight. He bats eighth. And Josh Rutledge is at second base batting ninth. The White Sox starting pitcher presented by your New England Nissan dealers. Chris Sale on the mound for his 25th start of the year. 12-7 with a 3.34 earned run average. 222 strikeouts and 164 and a third innings. Opponents hitting at just 221 against Sale. And as Jerry mentioned, last time out at Seattle, a victory. 7 innings, 3 runs, striking out 14 along the way.
The White Sox defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 10th in the league with 75 errors on the season. Tyler Saladino will be at third base. Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop. Carlos Sanchez at second. And Adam LaRoche, the first baseman. Left to right, Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, and Abe Garcia. Tyler Flowers doing the catching for Sale.
Now the umpiring crew tonight, the crew chief who's got the plate tonight, Bill Miller, calling the balls and strikes. With Ben May at first base, Doug Eddings at second base, and Mark Rippinger is the umpire at third. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Now, comfortable conditions, a little on the cool side, in fact, here in Chicago. Feels like fall a little bit, 65 degrees. Light and variable, the wind direction and speed, and the forecast calling for more of the same. And it has been cloudy here, really, for the 3 days the Red Sox have been here. About the same conditions every day.
Yeah, this has been unusual to have these conditions at this time of the year in Chicago. A lot of times we come here and it's 95 and humid. Not the case for these 3 games.
Now Mookie Betts ready to lead it off here in the first inning. Big, tall Chris Sale staring in, ready to work with the first pitch of the ball game. And it's in there for strike one. We're underway. That's toting a .273 average coming in, 11 homers and 59 runs batted in. The arsenal for Sale, 54% of the time throwing fastballs, 19 breaking balls, and 27% of the time changeups.
He started this game off with a changeup.
Fouled back, and it's 1-2 now to Betts.
The changeup was about 90 miles an hour. The fastball, both at 95.
Mookie Betts 2 for 3 with 2 doubles in his career against Chris Sale. And he lines this to third. Saladino able to reel it in. He's in the perfect spot. Hot shot, but the third baseman makes the grab.
A good solid contact by Betts here on the breaking ball. First one he sees, but Saladino just a little shuffle step to his left, and he's able to take a base hit away from Mookie Betts. He thought about going into the crossover step, but didn't have to do that.
So one down here in the first inning brings up Brock Holt. 290 with 2 homers and 36 runs batted in for Holt. Rock had last night off, was 2 for 3 in game 1 of the series. And nursing an oblique problem. And trying to play through some of that pain as he takes the breaking ball for strike 2. Bogarts waiting on deck. Red Sox bat here in the first inning.
See how nasty he can be on left-handed hitters, the way he drops down a little bit to the side, and especially with that breaking ball.
Holt gets a piece as it was running away from him. 1-2.
Yeah, there it is right there, dropping down to the side a little bit, not side on, but about 3/4, and then throwing that breaking ball to the outside part of the plate. Very tough to pick up.
On the ground up the middle as Alexei Ramirez picks and fires, and it is in time. Wow. What a play by Alexei Ramirez if he did indeed get him. We'll see if the Red Sox are going to challenge. Torey Lovullo out on the top step of the dugout looking in to his bench coach Dana Levangie.
Well, let's take a look on replay. This is a fantastic play by Ramirez at shortstop. Spins, throws, and boy, it's another close one at first base. Now, here we go again.
Here we
I think he's out. If the first baseman kept the foot on the bag, I think they've got him. So waiting for confirmation from the video room.
And they want to take a look. So a challenge here from the Red Sox. We'll take another look.
See right there?
I think he's out.
I think he's out also. I think that's the best look that we have. Ball's in the glove. I think just before the foot hit the bag.
Wow, is that close?
Yeah.
And is there enough there to overturn the call on the field?
Regardless, it was one heck of a play by Ramirez. I mean, he showed a couple of things. Great range, good athletic ability spinning around, and then that very good arm to first base to make it that close at first base.
I was surprised he could get that much on it from where he was.
Take another look at that play. You know, ground ball up the middle. Looks like it's going to be a base hit for sure for Holt, but here comes Ramirez into the pitch. It spins, and from that position gets quite a bit on the throw. It's a little bit high.
And they are sticking without. So the Red Sox lose their challenge here in the first inning. What a play by Alexei Ramirez. 2 down in the inning. And it brings up Xander Bogaerts. Xander at .313 coming into tonight's game. 4 homers and 60 runs batted in. Other guys get good numbers against Sale. He is 4 for 8 with a home run in his career against Sale. And the first time he faced him, he went 3 for 3. 7-game hitting streak coming into tonight's game. A .310 average during the 7-gamer. Xander tardy on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, back-to-back fastballs to Bogaerts to start him off. Let's see what they do. 0-2. Breaking ball down.
Bogaerts second in Major League Baseball against lefties at .378. And he sends this to left field for a base hit. Red Sox have their first base runner of the night.
Good job by Bogaerts. You know, the last pitch you're thinking about against Sale is the changeup. I mean, you got to honor the fastball. He's got a very good breaking ball, and then it's the changeup. And he gets the changeup right here, down and away, covers the plate, and is able to hook the ball for the base hit. I mean, he's a little bit off balance, but his hands do stay back. So he makes that good, solid contact to left field for the base hit.
So a 2-out base runner here for the Red Sox. Here is Hanley Ramirez. .252 with 19 homers and 53 runs batted in.
That base hit, by the way, gives Bogaerts now an 8-game hitting streak on the season. Well, I should say an 8-game hitting streak right now.
Up and away. And Ramirez in the cleanup spot tonight. David Ortiz getting the night off.
A couple of guys, Sandoval also getting the night off tonight, doubling up today and tomorrow, an off day for the Red Sox.
Fouled off into the seats on a hot shot to the right. On deck is Travis Shaw, who's been batting 5th now on a regular basis for the Red Sox. And Ramirez 1 for 7 so far in the series here in Chicago, and was 0 for 4 in the ball game here last night. And he chases that pitch up and away.
Yeah, it's just about impossible to hit with that kind of velocity and that high. And, you know, you're just completely fooled on a pitch like this. It's so high that the Ramirez, you see it good, but you got no chance to make contact.
Lead at first for Bogarts, a 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled back to the screen, staying up again at 97.
Getting a little extra against Hanley here with the man at first base.
'25th start of the season, 13th at home for Sale. Games over 500 individually is Sale, 56 and 36 coming into tonight's action. Hanley stays alive on a pitch away.
Hanley Ramirez again today taking ground balls at first base during batting practice, and I was watching him, and I got to tell you, Don, to me, he looks much more comfortable over there than he does in the outfield. I mean,
right now?
Right now.
Wow.
I mean, you know, here's a guy that's been an infielder.
Yep.
You know, so, I mean, taking ground balls, especially with the big first baseman's mitt, he was making it look easy.
How soon do you think before it happens?
I think it's a while. It's you know, it's a work in progress.
Strike 3 call. Hanley doesn't like it. You can see why. Takes with him the first strikeout for Chris Sale of the night. White Sox are coming up. The lineup is brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Adam Eaton leading it off and in center field. Jose Abreu, the DH. Melky Cabrera in left field with Avisail Garcia in right field. Adam LaRoche at first base with Alexei Ramirez at shortstop. Carlos Sanchez at second base. Tyler Flowers does the catching, batting 8th, and Tyler Saladino is at third base. Red Sox starting pitcher is presented by New England Audi dealers. The return of Rick Porcello, his 21st start of the year, 5-11 with a 5.81 earned run average, 92 strikeouts, 27 walks, and he was hitting just under 300 at 299. Jared seemed to kind of steamroll on him a little bit as the year went on, and he continued to be frustrated, and the results continued to be poor for him. He last worked, as you saw, on July 29th. There's a fly ball out to right field, sending Castillo back a step or two for the first out.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 11th in the league with 77 errors on the season. Brock Holt will be at third base, and the Bogarts the shortstop. Josh Rutledge at second, and Travis Shaw, the first baseman. Left to right, Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts, and Rusney Castillo. Blake Swihart doing the catching for Porcello.
The thing that really surprised me, Jerry, about the situation with Porcello was that we saw him when he was with the Tigers, and he was a sinker ball pitcher. And when he was ineffective this year, which was a lot of this year, it seemed like that sinker was not there for him on a regular basis.
No, it seems like at times, Don, that he fell in love with that cross-seam fastball for some odd reason. I don't know, because we expected to see the same guy that we did in Detroit, which was really a ground ball type pitcher.
Bogarts at short on the ground ball, handles out number 2.
And I don't know what reason, he kind of he didn't abandon it completely. But it seemed like in the course of a game, you go more to these two-seam fastballs instead of the ground ball type fastball.
And we've seen a lot of home runs as a result. In 114 2/3 innings, he comes in having given up 20 home runs on the year. And again, he has not pitched since July and on the DL. Here's Melky Cabrera, 271, 8 home runs, and 61 runs batted in. As Cabrera takes strike 1.
I remember Ryan Hannigan was catching him quite often in his when Hannigan was Porcello before he went on the disabled list. Tonight it's Swihart behind the plate catching Porcello.
You remember Hannigan talking about some of the pitch selection things that he thought might have been an issue for Porcello.
That was good movement on that fastball. Tried the two-seamer to come back on the inside corner. Couldn't quite get there all the way. But a good pitch on 0-2 count.
Seemed as if it was as much a mental break as a physical break for Porcello during this stint on the DL. As this one is carved foul, and no doubt the contract and the, I don't want to say dollar figures, but certainly the pressure and things not going well seem to be steamrolling on him a little bit.
I agree 100%. And when you come over to a new club and you're trying to prove yourself, you got this big new contract. There's a lot of pressure on you, and when things do not go well, it just seems like they snowball on you. And I don't think Porcello, to me personally, has looked comfortable all season long. Maybe after this time on the DL, if he can have some success the rest of the way, maybe he becomes a factor in the rotation.
Cabrera taking the 1-2, and it's 2-2. You see his 7th pitch.
Cabrera's hitting .545 with a home run against Porcello.
Slices it foul off to the left. Porcello throwing at 94 miles an hour.
Now that's much better velocity than he had the last start he made before going on the DL with the tricep problem.
So he ends up facing the White Sox for the 2nd straight start with all that time in between. Tonight's key matchup is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. And the numbers Jerry was just mentioning. Melky Cabrera at .545, 3 doubles, a home run, 3 RBIs, and a foul off to the left out of play. The breakdown 12 for 22 in his career against Porcello.
Now that's a pretty good sample size right there. I mean, that's just, there are certain guys you have that comfort level against, and obviously this is the case for Melky Cabrera.
10th pitch of the at bat, and it's a payoff pitch. And Cabrera lines it to left. Bradley almost losing it in the light bank there, but he makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning in the return of Porcello. No score from Chicago. Scoreless as we head to the second inning, and leading it off is Travis Shaw. Red Sox got a hit in the first off Sale, a single by Xander Bogaerts. Shaw, Castillo, and Swihart to bat here in the inning. Swing and a miss. You get a look at how hard it is to be a lefty against Sale.
And especially in that situation, they had 2-0 count, and he gets a changeup instead of a fastball.
That's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
Another changeup, back-to-back changeups when he was ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Another breaking ball.
And a ground ball towards Saladino at third base. High throw, but reaching up to grab it is LaRoche, and he came off the bag. So reaching at first is Travis Shaw.
And that'll probably go an error on Saladino, I would imagine, of pulling LaRoche off the first base bag. Take another look. Does he come off the bag? It's a high throw. You'll see LaRoche go up. Did he come back down on time? He did leave the bag, but did he come back down on time to get Shaw? And they may look at this.
And they are going to challenge. So the White Sox challenging here. And I'm going to go out there, Drew. I'm going to say that I think he did come down on the bag before Shaw arrived.
And you know what, Don?
We're in agreement?
We are in agreement. I think he did. He's up right now. He's got the ball. Down he comes. He's got the bag right before Shaw gets there. So I think it's going to be overturned. So we're both on the same page here.
We are clearly on the same page. Which means nothing, because we've been on the same page before and been wrong
totally
together.
Wrong, totally wrong. But I think right there, I think that's pretty clear.
First base umpire is Ben May. He's over there at the crew chief, Bill Miller. So we'll see what happens here. Shaw hoping that he has reached here at first base. Initial score had announced an error charged to Saladino on the throw, but we'll see. Now he's out, so no error on the play. Travis Shaw retired 5-3. So the Red Sox lost their challenge. The White Sox retained theirs by being correct here, having it overturned. One down in the second inning. It brings up Rusney Castillo. 305, 5 homers, and 25 runs batted in for Rusney. It's the arms out of the way, but it's a called strike over the inside corner. Coming in with a 9-game hitting streak at .429 during the stretch. Castillo had last night off. Red Sox rotating outfielders at the moment.
Let's see, 3 fastballs inside. Let's see if they go to the changeup away. Up back inside.
And a foul off to the right out of play. Well, Red Sox season ticket plans are now available for the 2016 season. For information about becoming a Red Sox season ticket holder, call 617-226-6888 or visit redsox.com/season tickets today. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Castillo with 1 out in the second inning. And a foul tip held on to by Flowers for strike 3. Second strikeout for Chris Sale.
And that's probably the hardest fastball he's thrown so far at 97 miles an hour and rising as it got to home plate. Upstairs, Castillo tries to chase it. It's at the top of the strike zone, about letter high, and cannot make contact.
2 down in the second inning, and it brings up Blake Swihart. Red Sox catcher checking in at .273 with a home run, 22 runs batted in. Sharing time pretty evenly now with Ryan Hannigan. He's hit at .340 in the last 26 games as he lifts a fly ball to shallow center field. Adam Eaton is there, and he makes the catch to put a cap on a 1-2-3 second inning. Inning and a half done without a score. Which player has the most unconventional throwing style? Text 1 for Carter Capps delivery. Text 2 for Giovanni Soto throwback to the pitcher. Sox 3 for Pat Venditti switch pitching.
That was easy.
Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. One message per vote. Visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions as well as privacy policy. What do you got?
I got number 3.
Yep.
Switch pitching.
That was incredible.
That was remarkable.
It's one of my favorite split screens of the year, I would have to say, was him warming up right-handed and then him warming up left-handed.
Exactly. And almost the exact same delivery.
Now, Cap's delivery was something else, too, because it was illegal in your eyes.
Just my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, no, a bunch of jumping stuff going on as a swing and a miss here. And that is strikeout number 1 for Porcello as he gets Garcia.
Now, this is what I thought was a illegal pitch.
And Giovanni Soto return throw as a catcher. And then Venditti, left-handed and right-handed. Announcing which way he's going to go.
Same stuff, too, from both sides.
Yep.
I mean, I love that. I love that one. I love number 3. Please vote for number 3.
One down here in the second inning. Adam LaRoche, the batter. Briefly a member of the Red Sox as he carves it foul off to the left out of play. 213, 12 homers, and 42 runs batted in. It's amazing how you see a player's name and you think of one thought that comes to your mind. I see the Jermaine Dye bobblehead behind there, and I think of two things. The fact that he broke his leg in a playoff game for the Oakland A's, but I also think of the home run that he hit off Papelbon here on the last day before the All-Star break.
Oh, no,
and then we played like 21 innings or something.
Exactly. I mean, we had like that year wasn't even an All-Star break. You know, because by the time we got home,
Chicago.
It was
2-2 pitch is grounded foul over by the Red Sox dugout.
What do they call guys that can throw it to ambidextrous?
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous?
Yes. I believe I'm saying it right. Ambidextrous.
I think you're saying it wrong.
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing to me.
Three balls, two strikes here to Adam LaRoche. And a fly ball to center field. Mookie Betts started back, now comes in and puts it away for out number 2 of the inning. So right now, Venditti switch pitching is winning by quite a bit.
It's got to win. I mean, how often do you see that? I mean, you just don't see it.
5 in a row retired by Porcello to start the night. Alexei Ramirez, the shortstop, standing in. He'll take strike 1. .240 average with 8 homers and 48 runs batted in. Back to Porcello, able to get it on behind the mound and then fire to first base in time to get Alexei Ramirez. A little fielding there for Rick Porcello. He's retired the first 6. Rick Porcello, who's retired the first 6 White Sox that he's faced in the game. For Sale back on the mound, and first pitch swinging is Jackie Bradley Jr. 260 now for Bradley. 5 homers and 23 runs batted in. Average on the climb. Since August the 9th, hitting at .435 with a .978 slugging percentage. Not just hitting, but he's hitting for power. For the month of August in 21 games.
A lot of extra base hits recently.
Well, next week the Yankees are coming to town for their final series at Fenway Park. Seats are available for all 3 games. Get your tickets now at redsox.com. Yankees starting the night, a game back of the Blue Jays as Bradley strikes out, and that's 3 Ks for Chris Sale.
The last time that he faced the Red Sox, he struck out 7 in that game. He has now 3 in this game. 2 on the breaking ball, 1 on the fastball. That's the breaking ball right there, obviously, to Jackie Bradley Jr., keeping it away from him, and very tough pitch for a left-handed hitter to hit. Even make contact on.
5 in a row retired by Sale, and here is Josh Rutledge, who takes strike 1. 297 with a home run, 4 runs batted in. His combined time with the Angels and the Red Sox on the year. On the ground up the middle, and Ramirez slides to grab it. Throw is low and cannot be dug out by LaRoche. He'll go off the front of the Red Sox dugout, and reaching is Rutledge.
Now that should go as a base hit for Rutledge, I would think. It's a heck of a play to get to this ball by Alexi Ramirez, but then the throw is going to be in the dirt, and LaRoche can't come up with it. But that certainly is not routine at all, and I would guess that Rutledge would get a base hit on that.
He does. So it is the second Red Sox hit of the night.
That really was a catchable ball for LaRoche. The throw was, it bounced, but it bounced pretty close to his glove.
Now Mookie Betts takes strike 1. Lined out sharply to Tyler Saladino, the third baseman, his first time up. DraftKings.com is paying out over $300 million this baseball season. DraftKings has given out $34 million to Boston residents alone since the site launched. Get your free entry into a one-day fantasy baseball contest today using promo code NESSN. A 1 pitch is lined to center field for a base hit. Up to second base goes Rutledge, and the Red Sox have runners at first and second with 1 down.
Well, they say they even out. I don't buy that. They don't even out. But Betts hit a line drive to the third baseman for an out in the first inning. Now he gets a little bloop on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the center field. So far they've evened out in this game, but I'm not buying that they even out.
You sound like a man who speaks from experience. It does not even out.
If you're hitting good, you're hitting 300, right? That's
right.
3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So
7 times didn't go so well.
Didn't go well. No, it didn't go well for you. And that's if you're a good hitter.
So 1 out, runners at first and second, and Brock Holt, the batter. Holt grounded out to Alexi Ramirez at shortstop in the first inning. On the ground softly, Sale will go to first, his only play, and the runners move along. So Holt retired. To third goes Rutledge. To second goes Betts, with now 2 down in the inning.
As Sale made the wise play there. If he goes to second base, there's a chance he throws that ball in the center field. Red Sox pick up a run. Instead, he looks to second, but decides to get the sure out at first base. Now he's got work to do with Bogaerts with a couple of minutes scoring position with 2 outs.
Xander's already got a base hit tonight, singled in the first inning to left field. Leading all major league shortstops in batting average to start the night at .313. Runners in scoring position at .381. 54 runs driven in, and he's got 2 in scoring position right now, with Rutledge at third, Betts at second. And that's in there for a strike.
It's interesting. When you look at the Red Sox, you would think they strike out a lot. They don't. They're the second toughest team in the league to strike out.
Xander fights it off foul to the right out of play. That number surprises me.
Yeah, that's I looked at that about a week ago, and I was surprised to see that they were the second toughest team to strike out, as they do walk quite a bit also.
Great opportunity here for Xander Bogaerts, with runners at second and third, 2 down.
See, normally, Don, I would have that information right at my fingertips.
But
when here in Chicago, they don't give you the information that I'm looking for on this piece of paper.
Yeah, I know.
It's not detailed. Because I wanted to tell you who the toughest team was to strike out.
I was going to ask you that, but
Yeah,
I had a feeling you didn't know, so I wasn't going to go there.
I don't have the information.
50th pitch for Sale, and Bogarts lays off a pitch that was up at 97.
Well, I'll tell you who do we just play at home?
We played
Very aggressive team. Very aggressive team. They don't walk and they don't strike out.
We played Kansas City.
Kansas City. I think they're the toughest.
We also played Cleveland, and we played Seattle.
I think it might have been Kansas City. And there was one team we played.
I think it was Kansas City.
Yeah, they were the toughest. They don't walk at all.
No, very aggressive.
Very aggressive ball club, and they don't strike out at all.
And they're very good.
And they're very, very good.
It is Kansas City.
Confirmed, Kansas City.
711 strikeouts. Payoff pitch here to Xander Bogaerts. And it is ball 4, and the bases will be loaded. Didn't miss by a lot, but he did miss.
Tried that fastball inside part of the plate, but a good eye by Bogaerts to take that. Didn't miss by very much. And you're always taking a chance, really, when you take a pitch that close to the strike zone with 2 strikes.
So out to the mound goes Flowers here to talk to Sale with the bases now loaded. Now tonight's suits are designed by Joseph Abboud, custom made in the USA in fine Italian fabrics, available at Men's Warehouse. Looking forward to seeing Joseph Abboud tomorrow.
You're going to the store, I understand, tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward to seeing Joseph tomorrow.
What time are you going over there?
I think 3.
Oh, in the afternoon?
Yes.
Really?
This one fouled back to the screen.
Maybe I'll go with you.
Come on by.
Are we going to get close or just see Joseph?
No, we're just going to see Joseph.
Oh, maybe I won't go.
That is not very nice.
Nah, I'm only kidding. It's very close to the hotel?
It is across the street.
Oh, then I think I will go.
The 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss, and it is 0-2. Hanley struck out looking in the first inning. As a base is loaded, 2-out opportunity here in the third. Inside for ball 1. 98 miles an hour from Sale. I think that's the highest we've seen on the night.
Yeah, he had touched 97 earlier. 98 now to Hanley.
Reaching back for a little extra.
There's that little extra inside.
Ramirez strikes out, and the Red Sox leave him loaded. Sale gets out of the jam. We're 2.5 deep without a score from Chicago. package. Fans will get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for $75. This great deal is even available for Red Sox Hat Night on September 8th and Fred Lynn Bobblehead Night on September 22nd. Tickets are available at redsox.com/family 4-packs. On to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Red Sox had a very good opportunity against Sale, but able to strike out Hanley Ramirez with the bases loaded. Carlos Sanchez leading it off here in the inning. And Sanchez taking a pitch up top. Sanchez, Flowers, and Saladino to face Rick Porcello, who has retired the first 6 White Sox that he's faced in the game tonight. Fly ball to left field. Jackie Bradley Jr. has it in his sights and puts it away for out number 1 of the 3rd inning. See Dennis Leary, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Wright, and more at the 21st Annual Comics Come Home at the TD Garden on Saturday, November 7th. Proceeds benefit the Cam Neely Foundation for Cancer Care. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com. 1 out in the 3rd inning, and it brings up Tyler Flowers. Flowers with a .223 average coming in with 8 homers and 32 runs batted in. Wonder how comfortable Porcello is on this White Sox mound, having pitched here so many times in the past as a member of the Tigers and in this division.
Well, so far he looks free and easy. I mean, no sign of any injury that he had, that tricep problem. And actually right now throwing the ball pretty well here early in the ball game.
As you mentioned, we've seen more velocity tonight than we had earlier this year and before he went on the DL.
That's some good sink to that fastball right there at 92 miles an hour. Topping it is Tyler Flowers right in front of home plate.
Swing and a miss, and Flowers strikes out. That's 2 Ks now for Porcello.
Both of his strikeouts tonight coming on his fastball. Both have been up in the strike zone. This one up and in to Tyler Flowers. Flowers does strike out a lot and does not walk very much.
2 down here in the 3rd inning brings up Tyler Saladino. .244 with 3 homers and 12 runs batted in for the White Sox 3rd baseman. On the ground and picking it at 3rd is Holt. Gets himself up and a low throw, but it's dug out by Shaw on the other side. 9 in a row retired by Porcello. No score from Chicago. Good things are happening to local people at easternbank.com/goodthingshappen. Top half of the fourth inning back in Chicago without a score as Travis Shaw leading it off here in the fourth inning. Shaw grounded out to third base in the second inning.
I haven't seen a fastball yet, a breaking ball and a changeup to foul that up.
Hard to explain the outing that Sale had against the Red Sox earlier this season at Fenway Park. Just 5 innings, 12 hits, and 7 runs. The hardest anybody has hit him on the year, this Red Sox team. Hung around for 95 pitches. Took the loss in that game. Now swing and a miss. Shaw got tied up. That was running in. 5 strikeouts now for Sale as we check in with Garen.
Thanks, Don. I talked to hitting coach Chili Davis, and he told me that the last time the Red Sox faced Chris Sale, they were disciplined and aggressive at the same time. Davis said he wouldn't say they had success against Sale, but they did manage to win the ball game. So, guys, he said whatever they were doing, he hopes they do it again tonight.
Yeah, they had a pretty good opportunity there in the third inning with the bases loaded, but Hanley Ramirez struck out. It's been their best opportunity. As a ground ball back up the middle into center field and a base hit for Rusney Castillo.
That Castillo there being very aggressive, jumping on the first pitch, extends his hitting streak now to 10 games on the ground ball up the middle. Looked like an off-speed pitch to me. I think a changeup. And right back over the glove of Sale into center field for the base hit.
So 1 out, 1 on here for the Red Sox in the fourth inning. Brings up Blake Swihart. Flied out to center field in the second inning. Fly ball foul down the right field line, out of play. Five strikeouts now on the night for Sale. He has walked 1 batter. And misses away here, 1-1. Listed at 6'6", only 180 pounds. Born in Lakeland, Florida. Throw to first, and Rusney was taken off. Now he's hung up. Ramirez are running back. LaRoche. And it's Sanchez who applies the tag and finishes it off. He was guessing and guessed wrong, as it turned out.
Yeah, that's what a lot of runners do against left-handed pitching. You know, as soon as the first move they call it, as soon as they see the foot go up, they take off. And that looks like what Rusney was doing right there. Then a little stutter step. He knew that he had been picked off. Actually stays in the rundown for a long time. Not well executed by the White Sox, but they finally get him tagged out.
2 down here in the fourth inning now, and erases the base runner for the Red Sox. Swihart with a count of 1-1. In a perfect world, on a rundown, you want as few throws as possible.
Absolutely. You know, I think 2 tops if you execute it right. The one thing you always want to have is you want to have the runner going back to the base he was at. And if you have a rundown between third and home, you always want that runner going back to third base, because if there's a bobble at home plate, the runner becomes a run. So you don't want that.
Apparently getting hit on the pitch there is Swihart on a 1-2 pitch as he heads down to first base.
That big breaking ball again, apparently going down and hitting Swihart. Let's see where he gets him. Yeah, right on the right foot. Right off the top of it, it looks like. See it change directions going into the glove of Tyler Flowers.
So a 2-out base runner here for the Red Sox, and here's Jackie Bradley Jr. Struck out swinging in the third inning. 1 out of 3 for the Red Sox catcher in stolen bases. Trying to frame it there was Flowers. Now last year, Sale 12-4 for Chicago. Most wins he's had in any season. A 17-game winner back in 2012 with the White Sox. Runs it inside and falls behind here 2-0. Bradley fouling it off. Hey, Red Sox Nation, start earning rewards for every Dunkin' run. Enroll any DD card online at ddperks.com. The Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Josh Rutledge on deck.
The other thing, Don, he's durable. For a guy, you mentioned 180 pounds, and as hard as he throws, he's a pretty durable guy.
Almost hitting Bradley there with that pitch.
I think the White Sox ought to trade him, is what I think, and I should trade him to Boston.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
That's just my opinion.
Usually you don't call for trades. That's why I was kind of surprised.
Right.
But,
I think the White Sox should trade him.
Now I understand the location as Bradley tried to hold up, defensively swings, and it's a full count.
Fastball up and in on Jackie Bradley. He's able to check the swing. Well, no, he wasn't able to check the swing.
No, he
was
went around.
Oh, yeah.
No. That's a strike. There is ball 4, and he's going to work a walk here with 2 down in the inning. It is the second walk given up by Sale, and Don Cooper, pitching coach, going to make a visit to the mound.
Kind of a good thing there. Get the pitch count up a little bit for Sale at this stage of the ball game. Fastball way inside that time, not even close, and that's going to bring the pitching coach out to Cooper for a little conversation with his pitcher.
Been a very good pitching coach for a very long time here in Chicago. Of course, was on Ozzie Guillen's staff.
He's been around a long time.
Two on, 2 down here in the 4th inning. And Rutledge coming up. Red Sox have already left 4 men on base through the first 3 innings. Rutledge with an infield hit in the 3rd inning. One of 4 Red Sox hits on the night. Six-game hitting streak for Rutledge. 8 for his last 17. Another guy the Red Sox are taking a look at here at the end of the year. Obtained from the Angels for Shane Victorino. That's with Swihart at second base, Bradley at first base. 2 down here in the inning. On the ground right side, the first baseman LaRoche is going to flip to second base with Ramirez covering for the out just ahead of the arrival of Jackie Bradley Jr. Still scoreless from Chicago. Here's the rundown for a limited time. Sign up for a free checking account with Eastern Bank and get $100. Just text money to 36698. Message and data rates may apply. Into the bottom of the fourth inning we go. Porcello has retired the first 9 White Sox that he's faced in the game. 2 by way of the K. Adam Eaton leading it off here. Flied out to Rusney Castillo in right field in the first inning. What are you seeing differently tonight from Rick Porcello in his return?
To me, he looks just free and easy in what he's doing. He looks more comfortable. He looks more aggressive, throwing balls with conviction. A couple of mistakes here, leaving pitches up in the zone. The third and fourth pitch here, one a breaking ball, one a changeup. But he looks confident on the mound to me.
In there for a strike and a full count.
Is that old saying, Don, body language?
Yep.
It just looks good tonight for Porcello, and he's off to a good start, which is great for him.
This one carved foul off to the left by Eaton.
Working quickly, getting the ball back right to the rubber.
Eaton, Abreu, then Cabrera expected here in the fourth inning. And Eaton strikes out looking. He knew it, and he takes with him the third strikeout of the night for Porcello.
Yeah, most of the pitches in that at bat were to the outside part of the plate, as you can see, or up and away. And then he comes back with an inside fastball, a little bit of a two-seamer that time, and picks up the strikeout. So Porcello doing a good job hitting his spots.
One down here in the fourth inning brings up Jose Abreu. Bounced out to Bogarts at shortstop in the first inning. Goes around half-heartedly, kind of changed his mind in the middle.
That's a good two-seamer right there from Porcello, because it completely fooled Abreu. He thought this ball was going to stay out over the plate. Instead, it runs back inside, and that half swing he takes. A lot of movement on that pitch. Elevating on purpose that time with Swihart. And they do get the swing and foul ball.
Abreu, last year's Rookie of the Year. American League, hitting at .317 last year for the White Sox. 38 home runs, 107 runs batted in. Played 145 games in his first major league season. Fouls it off himself painfully and is down here 1-2.
Abreu last night gave us examples of why he's a guy that can hit for power and a guy that can hit for average, and that's because he's the guy that can use the whole field. We saw him going to the opposite field a couple of times in the game last night, and that's why the combination power and average.
Two balls, two strikes here to Abreu. And a pop-up. They're coming from everywhere in the infield. Shaw from first base takes charge and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Well, tomorrow night, catch the Pawtucket Red Sox. They visit Buffalo. It's live at 7 p.m. right here on NESN.
Kind of ballpark's Buffalo good, though.
Oh, very, very nice. Used to be one of the better AAA parks in the league when I was there. I know there's a lot more ballparks that have opened up since across the International League, but one of the better ones because it is right downtown in Buffalo, and you see the skyline around the outside of it, and has a real big league feel.
It's interesting. You know, that's one place I have never been to, Buffalo. As many places we travel to, I've never been to Buffalo.
Great city, and the former manager for the Buffalo Bison, Torey Lovullo, he was there. As was Eric Wedge and many others who went on to become major league managers. No 2 pitch to Cabrera, and that one is down the left field line, foul. I think you'd be amazed by how nice a lot of the AAA parks are now compared to when you came through.
Absolutely. I mean, there's an incredible difference. I mean, you know, the miniature major league ballparks now.
Yeah, you're basically missing a deck. That's about it.
That's about it.
This is in the air to right, hit well down towards the corner, and that ball is going to bounce. Ground rule double up into the seats, and the 2 outs, the first hit of the night for the Chicago White Sox. Right down the line and right, back by the 335 marker.
We told you in the first at bat, Cabrera, a 545 hitter against Porcello. What does he do in his first at bat? Lines out hard to the opposite field. This time he gets the curveball, which is not that bad. It's down, and he bounces it up over the fence for the double. So, I mean, you know, he's just one of the guys for Cabrera that he hits very well. Even when he made it out, hit the ball hard.
So he retires the first 11 that he faces tonight as Porcello, but Melky Cabrera with a 2-out double here in the 4th inning. First base runner of the night for the White Sox. Abimael Garcia, the batter, struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. And sends one towards right center field. On the move is Rusney Castillo to get there to make the catch. That ends the inning. The White Sox leave a runner at second through 4 without a score. Scoreless to the 5th we go. 4 hits for the Red Sox, a hit for the White Sox. Chris Sale back on the mound. 76 pitches deep into his outing. And Mookie Betts will take strike 1. 3rd at bat of the night for Betts against Sale. He is lined out to 3rd and singled to center. Sale coming in at 12-7 individually with a 3.34 ERA. And a strike at the bottom of the zone. 25th start of the year for Sale. Full count now. That's to be followed by Holt and Bogaerts here in the 5th inning. Third full count for Sale and a foul back here by Betts. That's leading the Red Sox in runs scored with 62 on the year. Swings here and lifts a fly ball to short right. Sanchez out, Garcia in. And the right fielder puts it away for out number 1. It's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NESSANDataStrongFan and just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Tweet your photos now. Brought to you by T-Mobile. 1 out in the 5th inning and brings up Brock Holt. 0 for 2 in the contest. He was grounded out to short, grounded back to the mound. Little pop up down the left field line, foul ground. Saladino's not going to get there. A pretty good jump, did the best he could, but it was falling too fast down by the tarp.
And not all that high from Brock Holt, and it really made it just about impossible for Saladino to get to that ball. He gives it a good effort, but you can see the ball not that high at all, and by the time it comes down, he's just about 5 feet from it. And obviously no chance of Melky Cabrera out there in left field, even though he's shading Holt toward the line.
Fouls it off, still 0-2. Holt has been nursing an oblique problem. Xander Bogaerts waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the visiting half of the 5th inning. Wastes another one. Certainly couldn't take that right on that outside corner. Inside corner this time, and he freezes him with strike 3. That's 6 strikeouts now for Sale.
And that's really challenging for Brock Holt because, you know, anytime you're facing a guy like Sale, you're thinking about the pitch away, especially the breaking ball. Then he drops an inside corner on you. I mean, he throws it almost behind you, and it comes back to the corner. So that's a very, very difficult pitch.
228 Ks. 6 more than Clayton Kershaw. He's got 6 of them tonight, and he's got 2 down here in the 5th inning. Popped up off the bat of Xander Bogaerts. Adam LaRoche at first base will put it away, and Sale has a quick and easy 1-2-3 5th. We're halfway through. No score from Chicago. Bottom of the 5th inning, no score as Adam LaRoche leads it off and promptly sends a fair ball down the right field line. Rusney Castillo over to grab it, heading for second base. Is LaRoche. Throw goes there, and he will be just safe. Close play at second base as it turned out, and doing a split over there is Xander Bogaerts.
Now that play ended up a lot closer than it probably should have been, because Castillo makes a very good throw. Strong throw into second base. I think the foot got to the bag before the tag, though, by Bogaerts. One leg comes off the bag. I think his left leg comes off, but the right leg is back on it, so he never really did come off the bag. So the leadoff double by LaRoche here in the 5th inning. Right down the first base line.
Second hit of the night for the White Sox. Both have been doubles. Melky Cabrera with a 2-out double in the 4th. Now leadoff double by LaRoche here in the 5th inning. Alexei Ramirez now, and he'll take strike 1. Ramirez grounded back to the mound, and 2 Rick Porcello in the 2nd inning.
This kind of game right here, you got to move the ball to the right side right now. I mean, it's a low-scoring ball game. You got to get that man to third base. Less than 2 outs. And that's the approach that Alexei Ramirez should be taking right now.
On the ground to third, picked on the backhand by Holt. Throw to first is out there, taken off for third, and getting there without a problem is LaRoche. Good base running there as he chooses to take third base after the throw. It's time for Game Break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Adam? All right, Adam, thanks very much. Back here at U.S. Cellular Field. Rick Porcello retired the first 11 batters that he faced in the game for giving up a double to Melky Cabrera. Carlos Sanchez takes strike 1 with the infield in all the way around.
That's very good base running by LaRoche at second base. You know, the ball was hit to the left side of the infield, but the throw was so long for Brock Holt that he knew he could make third base. So very, very good base running. You see LaRoche at second base, and how far Holt is. He knows he's going to make a long throw, so it's going to take 2 long throws to get him at third base, and that's not going to happen.
Wild swing and a miss for Sanchez. Fly out to the left fielder, Jackie Bradley Jr. in the 3rd inning. Tyler Flowers waiting on deck. Sanchez, mentioned, has powered up lately. All 3 of his career home runs in the majors come in the last month. It's a ground ball, the infield in, shot of the backhand. LaRoche stays at third, and beating it out at first base is Sanchez. And Shaw took a look at the runner at third base, and it took too long for him to get back to the bag.
Well, for me, I thought they should have been going on contact in the first place, because Shaw has to go all the way to his right there, and if they're going on contact, they got to run. They lead this game 1-0. Unfortunately for the Red Sox, nobody covering first base. As you can see, Porcello becomes a spectator right there, and he's got Shaw has nobody to throw the ball to get the out. But for me, you know, in those situations when you're hitting toward the bottom of the order like that, I think contact is the way to go. Play the contact play and see if you can squeeze out a run that way.
So Sanchez at first, LaRoche at third base, one down. Tyler Flowers, the batter, struck out swinging in the third inning. 3 strikeouts in the game for Rick Porcello.
Red Sox could drop back now in a double play depth and try to get 2 to get out of their sitting. They need help from Porcello, though, with that sinker ball to try to get a ground ball.
Falling behind 2-0. Porcello has induced 13 double plays on the year. Could really use one here. Throw to first, and diving back safely is Sanchez.
And Sanchez does not run much. 1 steal, caught 1 time.
In the air to shallow right, coming in full bore is Bradley. He'll make the catch, and everybody will stay where they're at. He ended up being very shallow and almost all the way into the infield. So Flowers flies out to short right for the second out.
And from that position there's absolutely no way they can try to score the run from third base. Castillo coming in, charging the ball, and it was not hit very deep. And Castillo, it was high enough for him to come in and make a play on it. He's ready to throw from there. So you can see LaRoche not even tying it up. He's playing it halfway in case it drops in, because he knows it's not deep enough to tag up and score.
First and third with 2 down, and brings up the number 9 man, Tyler Saladino. He's taking a rip at the first pitch and fouling a fastball back. Rounded out to Brock Holt at third base in the third inning, 0 for 1. On the ground, softly hit towards second. Rutledge will flip, and it'll be in time. Just got him at first base to end the inning, and the Red Sox out of the jam, scoreless through 5. To break down tonight's game, and you'll hear from Rick Porcello whatever, whenever, wherever. Hooba, WB Mason. And Swihart over talking to Porcello in between innings. Just get out of a jam again, and so far so good in the return tonight for Porcello. 5 shutout innings. He's thrown 70 pitches through the first 5 innings. Hanley Ramirez leading it off here in inning number 6. So no success tonight with Chris Sale. Struck out looking in the first, struck out swinging in the third.
Yeah, breaking ball in the first, fastball in the third.
On the ground, slowly hit towards short. Alexei Ramirez plays the hop and throws out Ramirez for the first out here in the 6th inning. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. 1 out in the 6th inning. 5 in a row now retired by Sale, and here is Travis Shaw. Shaw has grounded out to third and struck out swinging. Red Sox out hitting the White Sox 4-3. And it sounded like he broke his bat. Got right in on him there, and all running in on his hands.
That's what you're talking about, getting into the kitchen right there. I mean, that didn't sound very good at all.
No. I imagine it doesn't feel great either.
No, it stings a little bit. Oof. He's lucky that ball didn't hit his hands. I tell you, I flinch even in the booth watching Sale pitch. Yeah, I'm bailing out up here. My front shoulder's gone.
Bailing well.
It's all, everything's gone.
Popped up shallow center, and in comes Adam Eaton without a problem. 2 down in the inning. Well, let's check back in with Adam Pelwer. And Adam. All right, Adam, thanks very much. Back here at U.S. Cellular Field with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Rusney Castillo, the batter, and he takes a look at strike 1. Struck out swinging in the 2nd inning, singled to center in the 4th inning. Under the pitch of the night, and a fly ball to left field. Melky Cabrera moves over towards the line and puts it away. A 1-2-3 6th inning for Chris Sale. 5.5 in the books with no score from Chicago. 5 season. In their 127th game, the Red Sox lost to the White Sox 6-4. Bill Melton homered and drove in 3 runs for Chicago. Eaton leading it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 0 for 2 tonight. He's fly to right and struck out looking. In there for a strike. Porcello with 3 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. Get out of a 1st and 3rd 1-out jam last inning. Now a swing and a miss by Eaton on a high fastball. Strikeout number 4 for Porcello. With a summer experience, Cirque Eloise ID. Hip-hop meets West Side Story in a show-stopping performance that's been keeping audiences on their toes for 20 years. Foxwoods, the official casino and resort of the Boston Red Sox. Book your tickets at foxwoods.com. 1 out in the 6th inning for Jose Abreu. He has grounded out to short, popped out to first base. Through the left side, quickly into left field for a base hit. Abreu aboard for the first time tonight.
That 7-game hitting streak now for Abreu. That's what we're talking about in his last at bat. How he can use the whole field. We saw him last night go to the opposite field. He gets a sinker down and in this time and pulls it a little bit down and off the plate. Pulls it between 3rd and short for the base hit. I mean, that wasn't that bad of a pitch at all by Porcello. That's just good hitting.
1 out, 1 on. Here's Melky Cabrera. Cabrera came up in the 4th inning after Porcello had retired the first 11 White Sox that he faced in this game. And Cabrera was able to double to right field, ground rule double. He's got one of the 4 hits off Porcello tonight. And he's got another through the left side. Very similar to the base hit by Abreu. And they got runners at 1st and 2nd for the White Sox with 1 down.
It's amazing, they just can't get Cabrera out. Porcello can. The double he pulls, the single he goes the other way. That's not a bad pitch either. That's a good sinker from Porcello right there. Down in the zone, but very good hitting by Melky Cabrera. For some reason, he must really pick the ball up well of Rick Porcello.
2 on, 1 away. Avisail Garcia, the batter. Struck out swinging in the 2nd inning, lined out to right in the 4th. And he takes strike 1. He didn't like it. Pitch of the night for Rick Porcello coming up. And it's fouled off down the 3rd baseline, down by the tarp.
These sinkers that he's throwing tonight have some very good movement on them. They really do. I mean, he's keeping them down in the zone. He's getting some action, some movement on it. This has been really good. Good stuff tonight.
Swing and a miss, and Garcia strikes out. So there's strikeout number 5. Porcello picking up his 5th K at a pretty good time.
Yeah, they elevate on purpose. So you could see Swihart get out of his pouch. He wants the high fastball, maybe even a little higher than what that one was. But still no contact by Avi Garcia.
His ticket brings you the pitching line for Rick Porcello. 5 2/3 deep, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and just picked up his 5th strikeout, 81 pitches. Now deals with Adam LaRoche, who has flied out to center and doubled. Now takes a pitch down and in. at-bats with Abreu at second base, Cabrera at first, 2 down here in the Chicago 6th inning. Strike one. Adam LaRoche, the last 4 years played for the Washington Nationals. Mentioned earlier, member of the Red Sox very briefly for 6 games back in 2009. That year he ended up with 3 different teams: Pittsburgh, Boston, and Atlanta. This will get away, and the runners will move up. Abreu to third and Cabrera to second. Wild pitch here, charged to Porcello.
Yeah, it's the curveball that time for Porcello that gets away from Swihart. Swihart trying to backhand that ball, couldn't do it.
White Sox have had their chances the last couple of innings. Left Cabrera at second base in the 4th. They left LaRoche at 3rd. Sanchez at 1st in the 5th. Now 2nd and 3rd with 2 down. And a foul ball evens the count at 2-2.
Change up that time for Porcello. Had LaRoche out in front.
In the air to shallow right center field. Over goes Betts. He will get there to make the catch and end the inning again. Porcello pitches himself in and out of trouble. Still scoreless. Scoreless as we head to the 7th inning. Rick Porcello again getting out of a jam. There's a ground ball left side. Picked at third by Saladino. A little bobble to throw. And he's still going to get him. So Swihart looking in to see if the Red Sox are going to challenge here on this play from Saladino at third base.
And very quick actions by Saladino down at third after he dives for the ball. As the crossover step, and the ball bounces off his glove, but very quick to pick it up and get rid of it and get it somewhere in the vicinity of first base. Nice stretch by LaRoche, and they get the first out of the inning.
So now 7 in a row retired by Sale. He's got the first out of the 7th, and here's Jackie Bradley Jr. Struck out swinging in the third, walked in the fourth inning. Not chasing that, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Action for the first time tonight for either side. Nate Jones up in the White Sox pen. Sale up over 100 pitches. Started this inning in an even 100. They got ahead 0-2, but now a full count. Josh Rutledge waiting on deck. Red Sox working towards the bottom of their order. And Bradley strikes out. That's 7 strikeouts for Sale. 2 down in the 7th inning. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your photos now. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Sox fan Lucy submitted this photo of her dog. What is the dog wearing? Is that like PJs or something? Or
just
tough to tell.
I think a warmer. They might have the air conditioner on in the house and they're just warming up the dog. I don't know. Maybe a sweater. Maybe it was a sweater that was made for the dog.
Yeah. Sale with 7 strikeouts in the game as Rutledge chases that pitch. Finds himself down 1-2. Pitching line is brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealer. 6 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, a couple of walks, 7 Ks, and 110 pitches deep into his outing. Plate umpire Bill Miller flinched but did not call it a strike. 2-2. Get away, full count.
Back in the 5th inning, Rutledge going a long way with an underhand flip to first base to get the Red Sox out of the inning. Good hustle there by Rutledge.
On the ground up the middle into center field, a base hit. Second hit of the night for Josh Rutledge. Let's check back in with Adam. All right, Adam, thanks very much. Well, heading out now is the catcher Flowers, and I'm not sure if he's just buying time here. Looks like he may have been sent out there. H.B. Hood salutes the Red Sox Foundation for its commitment to 4,900 accredited charities throughout New England. Jones continues to warm in the pen. Sale has 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Rutledge at first base, held on over there by LaRoche, and Mookie Betts gets his 4th look at Sale. Betts tonight has lined out sharply to third, single to center, and fly to right. Meet the center fielder over towards right center. Good size gap out in left center for Mookie. Strike called. Betts didn't think so.
I didn't think so either. That ball looked outside. That's a big call right there. Instead of a 2-1 count, you got a 1-2. You got to be more defensive now.
With a half check swing there, and it's fouled back to the screen.
So I'm talking about anything close to the strike zone, you've got to be swinging, and that time Betts chasing a pitch that might have been out of the strike zone, but too close to take. High fastball from Sale.
Fouled back to the screen again.
Still at 97. Sale, no, he's in his last, probably maybe last hitter. Certainly last inning, and letting it loose here in the top of the 7th.
118 tonight right now for Chris Sale. Season high 125. Well beyond his average as he deals here with 2 outs with Mookie Betts, a runner at first. And Betts will hit a fly ball to center field. Adam Eaton from right center to left center makes the catch that ends the top of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch, no score from Chicago. Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. Your local Subaru dealers, the Scion TC, and by your local New England Ford dealers. Back in Chicago, where Chris Sale has gone the first 7 innings, thrown 119 pitches, and hoping his team can grab a run here in the 7th inning. Alexei Ramirez receives strike 1 from Rick Porcello. Ramirez 0 for 2, has grounded back to the mound, grounded out to third base. Now it's a fly ball to left field. Bradley Jr. will have room as he makes the catch in front of the dirt of the track. Well, stay tuned for Red Sox Final presented by Uno's. Adam Power and Tim Wakefield to break down the AL East race and preview the Sox next series against the Mets.
Now, one thing we know is we're going to see very good pitching against the Mets.
Yep. Have you been to Citi Field yet?
No, this will be my first visit.
One down here in the 7th.
You've been there for an exhibition game, right?
Yes, one at the end of spring training one of the years. I remember because I worked with Brian Daubach in that game. It was the only game that we did there.
I wonder why I
filling in. I don't know.
No idea.
The end of spring training. Pitch 90.
What year was it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just know that Dauber was there.
It was the first year it opened, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Ground ball down the first baseline. Guarding the line was Shaw, and that is out number 2. Let's take a closer look at what's ahead for the Red Sox On Friday, it'll be Henry Owens against Matt Harvey. Owens 2-1 so far in his major league career with a 4.50 ERA. Matt Harvey 11-7 with a 2.57 ERA. Looking forward to seeing him pitch. Closer look brought to you by FW Web Selection Expertise Solutions. More at FWWeb.com.
Very concerned about the weekend series. I'm hoping that transportation from Citi Field is fairly easy to get back to the hotel.
I don't believe it was, as I recall. See, we're so used to going to Yankee Stadium, and we have that system down to a science.
We got that figured out.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same type of service, I would think, at Citi Field.
We will find out Friday night. On the ground to shortstop. Bogart stepped to his left. Throws out Flowers, and Porcello continues to roll along. Through 7. No score from Chicago. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com.
Very long conversation between Lovullo and Porcello between innings, which is going to end in a hug. Very pleased with the job that Porcello has done in this ball game tonight.
94 pitches through 7 innings, and that's going to do it in his first outing back, and a very good outing tonight for Porcello.
One of the best of the season, Don.
Brock Holt leading it off here in the 8th. And grounding one foul. Red Sox glad to see someone other than Chris Sale. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Kia. And someone is Nate Jones, his 7th appearance, 1-0. He's not given up a run. 6 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Opponent's hitting at .056 against Jones. Now a foul ball behind the Red Sox dugout on the first base side. So Sale goes 7 innings, allows 5 hits to the Red Sox, but no runs. He walked 2 and struck out 7. Little pop-up sending Sanchez backpedaling onto the outfield lawn for the first out of the 8th inning. So 0 for 4 tonight is Brock Holt. Now, for every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Alltown is New England's premier healthier convenience retailer. One out in the 8th, and it brings up Xander Bogaerts. Single to left in the first inning, a walk in the 3rd. He popped out to the first baseman Adam LaRoche in the 5th inning. Red Sox have action of their own. Robbie Ross Jr. now up in the pen. Red Sox have left 7 men on base through the first 7 innings. White Sox have stranded 5 through the first 7. Bogaerts lines it into right center field for a hit. Gets down as Eaton goes over to cut it off. Bogaerts will be held to a single. Eaton firing it back into second base, but a 1-out base hit. Second hit of the night for Xander Bogaerts.
2 for 3 for Bogaerts. Been on base 3 times tonight. Inside out swing again, and I thought this ball was going to go for a double, but it hit that grass and just kind of really slowed up, and it gave Eaton a chance to get over and quickly get it back in on a couple of hops. So Bogaerts had to stop at first base. He was thinking about 2. I thought he could get 2, but good work by Eaton to get that ball back in.
1 out, 1 on, and Hanley Ramirez the batter. He has struck out twice in the game and grounded out to shortstop. 0 for 3. Almost ducked into that pitch. 98 miles an hour. Grabs his attention.
I think that pitch surprised Hanley Ramirez, the velocity of it. See the late reaction there by Hanley.
Same velocity and right at the bottom of the zone for a strike.
See those split fingers that the catcher will put down. That generally means to throw to first base. Used to use a fist a lot for a pitch out or a throw to first base. Here you see these are the 2 fingers out.
Hanley batting now with Travis Shaw waiting on deck. 1 out here in the 8th. Rich holding on Bogaerts. Strike 2. Red Sox out hitting the White Sox 6-5 in this scoreless contest here in the 8th. Ramirez protecting the plate that time, fouls off a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, right now, each ticket has super savings on all Red Sox tickets. Tickets start at just $9, and New York Yankees tickets start at just $33. Supplies are limited. Visit aceticket.com right now for super savings. One out, 1 on. Hanley Ramirez 0 for 3 in the game, but all that was against Chris Sale tonight. Sale goes 7 shutout innings, giving up 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7. Half of the amount of strikeouts he had in his last outing, which was 14. Ramirez strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Out number 2 of the 8th inning. Well, Saturday on Dining Playbook, Billy and Jenny visit a special family on the North Shore. Plus, Jenny cooks with a top local seafood chef. Catch it all on the next Dining Playbook Saturday morning at 9. So Nate Jones picks up his first K, 2 down in the inning, and here is Travis Shaw. Shaw grounded out to third base in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth, flied out to center in the sixth inning.
Let's see if they give Bogas the green light here with 2 outs in innings. See if he can get into scoring position.
Shaw drives one to deep right field, down the line towards the pole, and it is gone. A 2-run home run. Travis Shaw with his 7th home run of the year puts the Red Sox on top 2-0.
Wow, did he turn that one around in a hurry? Travis Shaw getting his first look at a right-hander tonight in this game, and he puts a real charge in this. I mean, you talk about a quick bat, getting the bat head out quickly, and that's exactly what happens here. Fastball at 97 down and in to Shaw, and he just absolutely is all over it.
Now ground ball softly at left side, cut off by Saladino on the run, and in time to retire Rusney Castillo. But a 2-run home run for Travis Shaw as the Red Sox on top 2-0. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Back at U.S. Cellular Field, Travis Shaw has just gone deep. A 2-run home run to put the Red Sox on top 2-0. Tyler Saladino leading it off here in the bottom of the 8th. And a pitch in there for strike 1 from the new Red Sox pitcher, Robbie Ross Jr. into the game. 40th appearance, 0-1 with a 3.91 earned run average. 41 strikeouts, 16 walks. Comes in for Rick Porcello with the first 7 innings. Pitcher of record right now. Give up 5 hits, no runs. Foul to the screen, and it's 1-2. Walk anybody, struck out 5 and Sure, it might have been his best outing of the year.
Yeah, I was surprised only because it's his first game back from the disabled list, and I really didn't anticipate him being as aggressive as he was. I thought his sinker was very good in this game. He threw a lot of changeups in the game and pitched with tremendous confidence, I thought.
Well, Saladino strikes out for the first out of the 8th inning. A Sunday at 11:30 in an all-new episode of Nesson Clubhouse. Steve Lyons teaches the art of the crow hop. Find out who makes rain delay decisions at Fenway Park, and Rick Porcello makes his debut on Red Sox Small Talk. Nesson Clubhouse is presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. One out here in the 8th, and Adam Eaton, the batter. Action for the Red Sox. Gene Machi up in the pen. White Sox also busy. Zach Putnam warming in their pen. Eaton 0 for 3 from the top spot in the White Sox order. He's flied to right and struck out twice. Now grounds one to third. A bobble for Holt. In a hurry with Eaton running, but he gets it there in time. 2 down.
Porcello tonight, all his strikeouts coming on his fastball. Is Garcia going down by a fastball. Tyler Flowers a fastball. Good movement on that one coming back to the plate. Up and away with the fastball, then high again above the belt. Very aggressive tonight was Porcello, and he just looked like to me on the mound that he had great confidence and was sure things were going to go well.
A good sink tonight, something we've not seen this season.
Yes, he did. He did a lot. He had a lot of pitches tonight that were down in the zone that had very good movement on the fastball.
Two down here in the 8th inning. Jose Abreu, the batter. He was grounded to short, popped out to first, and singled to left. Now grounded by the mound as Bogaerts grabs it and throws out Abreu, and Robbie Ross Jr. has a 1-2-3-8. It's on to the 9th with the Red Sox on top 2-0. By Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. We'll have a special profile on Brock Holt's journey to the majors. That's Friday at 6 right here on Nesson. And we're on to the 9th inning, 2-0. Red Sox have the lead over the White Sox. Like Swihart leading it off. Red Sox looking to obtain some insurance here in the 9th inning. Zach Putnam into the game now. Third arm used tonight by Robin Ventura. 41st appearance, 3-3 with a 2.93 earned run average. Oh, it's hitting at 209. Swihart with a swing and a miss. Blake tonight has flied out to center, been hit by a pitch and grounded out to third base. So right now on the hook is Nate Jones, who went an inning giving up 2 hits. The 2-run home run to Travis Shaw. Didn't walk anybody, struck out a batter.
That's 3 straight split-fingered fastballs that he's thrown to Zawa, loosening in the Red Sox bullpen.
Outside, ball 3, full count. Jackie Bradley Jr., then Josh Rutledge expected in the inning. Bullpen's been very good lately for the White Sox. 1.66 ERA in the last 18 games. And there's ball 4. Leadoff walk for Blake Swihart here in the 9th inning. Well, tonight's game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Rick Porcello, maybe his best outing of the year. 7 shutout innings in his return. Travis Shaw with a 2-run home run in the top of the 8th inning. The difference in the game. Xander's had a couple of hits. Chris Sale, 7 shutout innings himself. And Melky Cabrera 2 for 3 in the ball game tonight for Chicago. Red Sox holding on to a 2-0 lead. Swihart at first base with nobody out for Jackie Bradley Jr. This one will get away, and heading for second base is Swihart. He will get there. So into scoring position with nobody out. Wild pitch charged to Putnam.
Every pitch Putnam has thrown since he's been in the game has been about 85 miles an hour, some kind of off-speed pitch. Split-fingered fastball or a changeup, but I mean, it's he hasn't thrown anything over 85 since being in the game. And there's Swihart getting in the scoring position with nobody out. I mean, to me, these pitches look like split-fingered fastballs, and every pitch he's thrown has been a splitter. There's a fastball there at 88.
Bradley tonight has struck out, walked, and struck out again. Swihart at second base. Bradley on the ground, but positioned perfectly. Ramirez thought about going to third, but he twists and fires to first base instead to get the shore out as Swihart takes third base with 1 down.
Okay, good job there by Swihart. He knows exactly his lead. He knows where Alexi Ramirez is playing, and he knows that the ball is going to be to his left so he can make third base. Now, Ramirez took a peek over there, but made the right decision by not throwing there. See Swihart kind of line himself up with that third baseman to make it even more difficult for Ramirez to make that throw. Now the infield pulled in. Geez, I'd like to see a squeeze.
1 out, runner at third base. Josh Rutledge, the batter. You love squeezes. You love it.
It's so exciting. It's such an exciting play to me. And it kind of works here. You get the 9-hitter up. You know, the counts in their favor. 1 ball, no strikes.
You don't find it dangerous? I mean, run yourself right out of a situation.
I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that stuff. I'm in the booth.
Yeah. Ooh, showing bunt there. May have been a safety squeeze. Not coming from third was Swihart.
It's a good thing it wasn't a suicide squeeze, because that was not a good pitch to bunt at all. Come on, Butter, put it on. was an excellent block also by Flowers. He saved the run.
If you were a manager, I'd be looking for squeezes every night.
I'd tell you when I was going to squeeze. I'd look up at you. I'd have a sign with you.
Squeeze sign. 2-0 pitch is lifted in the air to right field, sending Garcia back to make the catch. Tagging and jogging home with the third Red Sox run of the night is Blake Swihart, and it's 3-0 Boston.
As I said, he should be swinging away, trying to hit that long fly ball and get the run home from third base.
Just got done saying he should get something he can lift.
Good job, though, by Rutledge, getting that ball in the air. Inside out swing, gets it deep enough to the outfield where Garcia has no chance to make a play at home plate. So the Red Sox increase their lead to 3-0. Yeah, I'd be very predictable, I think, as a manager, right?
I think by me, but it's probably because I've worked with you so long. I think I'd be able to manage along with you.
I think you would, yeah.
So 2 down as Mookie Betts. He is 1 for 4 in the contest. Singled to center field in the 3rd inning. In all seriousness, I think you would have made a great manager had you chosen to do that. I don't know how you would have handled the media on a daily basis, but I do know you would have been a very good manager.
I appreciate that. And, I must say that earlier in my career, that was a thought of mine,
yep.
To coach and prepare myself to become a major league manager. But you got, this gig worked out pretty good. And,
yeah.
Okay. Didn't have to move from place to place to place to place. And I'd have been fired like 9 times already if I was a manager, and I'd be squeezing all the time.
Yes, squeezing, running guys out of innings completely.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch, and Betts is down on strikes. Red Sox are down in the 9th, but they add a run, take a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Two-run home run to put the Red Sox on top 2-0. That was off Nate Jones in the top of the 8th inning. Red Sox have added a run since and take a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Now on for the Red Sox, Junichi Tazawa into the game. Tazawa's 55th appearance, 2-6, a 3.74 ERA, 2.48 in save opportunities, 49 Ks to 9 walks, and opponents hitting at 266 against Tazawa. He took the loss, his 6th blown save of the year on Sunday against Kansas City. And an 8-6 lead going into that ninth inning. Gave up 4 runs in that outing. And inside, almost hitting Melky Cabrera. There's had a good night, a double and a single.
And of course, that good night coming against Porcello, who he hits very well. There's a fastball way inside by Tazawa. Checks his landing spot after the pitch. Maybe a little bit of a slip.
Prior to the blown save last time out, Tazawa had made 3 straight scoreless appearances before Sunday's 4-run, 1-inning appearance. Uehara, of course, lost for the year in the fractured wrist. Falling behind here, 3-0. Tazawa appearing in his 16th game of 38 since the All-Star break. In there for a strike, and it's 3-1. There is action behind him in the pen. Craig Breslow, the left-hander, up. Strike called, and Cabrera was ready to flip the bat away. Thought he had ball 4.
Now that was borderline, but I think it was a strike. It did have part of that outside corner away from Melky Cabrera.
Broken bat, soft liner that Shaw can't get. It is picked up by Rutledge, but not covering was Tazawa. So reaching is Melky Cabrera, and the broken bat flare into shallow right.
Well, if Tazawa's covering first base, they still have a chance at him. There's Shaw coming in a step, and that kind of messes him up. If he just held his position and goes back, he would have had this ball. Now Tazawa's just become a spectator. And by the time he gets to first base, there's no chance at all to get Cabrera. I can see that one step in by Travis Shaw really hurt him on making the catch on that soft broken bat line drive.
So leadoff single here for Cabrera. His 3rd hit of the night. And here's Avisaíl Garcia, who has struck out, lined out, and struck out. 0 for 3. Allen missing with the fastball. Want to work on that landing area. Apparently not working out for him here so far. Two and 0. Swing and a miss. He was all ramped up there and got the fastball, but couldn't get it.
They're up in the zone a little bit, though. And that's really where they try to pitch Garcia with high strikes.
Cabrera with the lead at first base, held on by Shaw. And a swing and a miss. Same thing, 94 miles an hour, same spot.
Yeah, once again elevating that fastball just above, just around the letters. Not very good head discipline that time by Garcia. That head was flying all over the place as he made that swing.
Going to try to come in. And it is to third base. Holt will go to second for one, on to first, and it is not in time. So they do get the lead runner, Melky Cabrera, 5-4 on the fourth shot for the first out of the bottom of the ninth.
I tell you, watching Rutledge at second base, he's got a very strong throwing arm on these double plays to first base. He made that closer than I thought it was going to be. Good hustle down the line by Garcia, too. He showed pretty good speed getting down the line on that play.
1 out, 1 on. Adam LaRoche, the batter. Fly to center, double to right, and fly to center again. Tazawa's certainly got a lot of use over the years. Since the start of 2013, he's made 197 relief appearances, fourth most in the American League, as he bounces that one in, and Swihart able to pick it.
He's having big time trouble getting that first pitch over for a strike. Faced 3 batters now, and the first pitch has been way out of the strike zone.
Behind again here, 2-0. LaRoche hits a fly ball to center field. Betts will have room out there. And he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Back to first goes Garcia with 2 down. Well, Bob's Discount Furniture goes to bat for the Jimmy Fund again this year. Bob will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund for every game saved this year. Everybody saves at Bob's. Bob's Discount Furniture, quality, choice, and value. Learn more at mybobs.com. 2 down here in the ninth as Zawa tries to get a save here tonight. Let's say Ramirez now the batter. Oh for 3. He is grounded out twice and flied out to left. Four for 11 in his career against Tazawa, 3 doubles. Runner goes at first as the pitch a strike, and on the defensive indifference, Garcia takes second. For Friday at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. Adam Pellerin and Tim Wakefield will analyze the Red Sox showdown with the Mets ace Matt Harvey. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Ball and a strike here to Alexei Ramirez with 2 down in the ninth inning. Ramirez hits a ground ball to shortstop. Bogarts will go to first, and the Red Sox win. Well, Boston able to shut out the Chicago White Sox tonight in the finale of the series. Very well pitched game tonight for Boston. Rick Porcello able to pick up the win tonight for the Red Sox, his 6th of the year, and the big home run